Hello people and welcome to Nerd Talk, and today we are going to be talking about Marvel vs. DC, and with me is Ian.
What's up, everybody?
So yeah, Marvel vs. DC, we're not going to be like, oh, who would beat who in a fight and all that stuff.
DC.
We're going to be talking about, like, we're going to be comparing the movies, the comics, the games, and all that stuff. So yeah, let's
start
get
with
into
gaming?
it. Okay, we'll start with games.
DC wins.
That's easy.
Batman Arkham games. It's over. That's why I wanted to start with gaming.
Yeah, true. Like, gaming's over. I think, like, just automatically Marvel loses. Because they haven't had a good game since, like, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Or, well, when did Origins Wolverine came out in 2009? Shattered Dimensions, I think, like, came out in 2010.
You're not counting Marvel, that type of Marvel. That's not the same Marvel.
What do you mean?
That's a Fox Universe Marvel. You're talking about the
No, because this isn't... yeah, that still counts as Marvel, because that's not
Okay.
movies.
Okay.
It's a game based on a movie. But, yeah, just DC creams Marvel in this category. Because they haven't had a good superhero game in forever. The Amazing Spider-Man game sucked.
Off topic real fast. What do you think of the Terminator game, new one? Do you think it's going to be any good?
There's a new Terminator game?
Yep, they had a trailer for it or something.
The movie looks terrible.
It does. And she's not even hot.
Well, she's hot.
She's alright. Yeah, she's good.
She's a chick
better
from
looking Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah,
She's
she's
better with
really
that
good
white
looking.
hair.
Yeah.
That white hair, though.
Okay, so gaming goes to DC. That's 1 point. Also, we're gonna be talking about animated movies as well. So, going into a real topic, we're gonna be doing the MCU versus the DCU. Well, no, because it's not cinematic. DCCU. And I've made some matchups because we're comparing the Dark Knight series and Man of Steel to some Marvel movies and the Marvel Universe. Well, Marvel Cinematic Universe. So first lineup, the first matchup is Green Lantern versus Iron Man 2. I decided to take the worst and put them against each
Is there any way
other.
that both of them can lose?
Well, it's hard because Green Lantern had that one good scene of Sinestro and Green Lantern training. Iron Man 2 had that one good scene where they were fighting on the racetrack. The ending battle was kind of cool as well. Like when they were fighting the robots, not when they fought Whiplash. The Whiplash fight was still pretty bad.
I was about to say when they fight robots in Green Lantern, but
He fought on Fart Cloud.
I like Green Lantern better because it was more of a character. And another thing I think why Green Lantern was better because Green Lantern was the first movie, and yeah, it was bad and had a ton of build up because all the money Warner Brothers put into it. But you also got to think Iron Man 1 was so good, and then to go to Iron Man 2 after how good all the other Marvel movies had been, it was kind of a real big letdown. Like that was Marvel's first, in my opinion, mess up of a movie that they did. Because they were just so much worse than the first Iron Man.
In my opinion, it's the only actual bad Marvel as in Disney Marvel movie. Like, there have been some very weak Marvel movies that aren't very good, but they're still, at the very least, enjoyable, to where Iron Man 2 had very few enjoyable moments. So I think we're going to say this one's a tie, pretty much.
Okay.
So I'm going to go... Next is Batman Begins versus Iron Man 1. I'm choosing Iron Man 1 all the way. Which one do you choose?
Well, why?
What? Because it's just, like, it was so much cooler to me. Like, when he first puts on that suit and goes and fights all those terrorists and takes down that tank, it was awesome. It was amazing. And also, I feel like Obadiah, Warmonger, was a better villain than Ra's.
Okay,
Ra's was a good villain.
Are we doing these just movie by movie, not counting in the rest of the universe? Or are we talking about...
we'll compare, like, the tone and everything, like, how the universe itself is.
Okay, well, then I have to say Batman Begins, because Batman Begins' tone was the same throughout its trilogy. And
we're not comparing the trilogy. We're comparing Iron Man 1 to Batman Begins. Okay. I said later on
I still say I like Batman Begins better, just for the fact that I like Batman better, and I think the movie was so well done. You gotta really think that was really the... Every time someone talks about an origin story, what do they always say? We're trying to make it how Batman Begins was. They always want to...
Or Iron Man 1. People say the same thing.
Iron
Man 1, though, also reinvented the character. Because Iron Man wasn't really like that in the comics. He was pretty much just an alcoholic who wasn't that funny. RDJ, like, reinvented the character. And I just feel like Iron Man 1 was better.
Oh, I like Batman Begins better.
So, for this one, we each have our different opinions.
Okay.
And the next is Captain America Winter Soldier versus Dark Knight. I'm going Dark Knight here.
Yeah, definitely.
Winter Soldier was really good, but who didn't see Robert Redford as the main villain? Who was like, I bet he's a good guy. I know it. To where Dark Knight had a lot of twists and turns. Well, personally, I do feel like what's his name? Heath Ledger was overrated. He did good, but I still feel like his performance was overrated. Like, he did good. He was definitely really good, but everyone was like, spectacular, amazing, great. And I was like, well, I wouldn't go that far, but he was really good. And who saw Rachel dying? I didn't. And, like, how they made Harvey Two-Face, I thought, like, they were going to do it real early on when he was in the courtroom. Like, the plot had a lot of twists and turns. My only real complaint was the battle with Joker. I thought that was stupid, to where Batman has been kicking the crap out of people, and then Joker, this guy is not physically menacing at all, is suddenly taking Batman in a fight. That's my only complaint, really. Yeah, he did.
He screwed up his vision.
Oh, no, my vision's all screwed up.
He had the dogs. Remember, he had the dogs come after him, and then he hit him with a knife.
I just still thought that was stupid. And also the ending to where he was like, hey, I did all that stuff. Instead of blaming on the Joker, who I easily could have, I blame it on myself. Yeah, so I can disappear for 8 years because I don't want to be Batman anymore. But also that ending with Two-Face to where he actually killed Two-Face. I thought that was awesome because Christopher Nolan didn't pull any crap and be like, hey, you know what? Batman's got a gadget to get out of this. No, he didn't. He had to make a do-or-die decision. I thought that was awesome.
Christopher Nolan, one thing I liked about his movies, he made the hard decisions. I mean, yeah, The Dark Knight Rises, spoiler alert, you can be like, hey, Batman got out, how, and the whole Batman.
There's a lot of plot holes in that movie.
But for that one, it was just, can you imagine Marvel's version of The Dark Knight? Oh, Rachel's not dead. She's back.
No, they'd make a Rachel TV series. Agents of Rachel.
I remember being in the movie theater and still couldn't believe they actually killed her. I thought it was so much better. I love the Joker. I thought it was the villain. I think any villain in the DC universe is better than Marvel's villain, just for the fact that they actually present a threat.
Hold on. We're gonna get into this when we get done with the movie by movie comparisons. We'll get into that.
But if you're comparing the movie by movie, I think Batman was better than Captain America: Winter Soldier. I'm not near as high on the Winter Soldier as Dylan was. I went into it with a lot of high expectations in it. I got sick of the whole spoiler alert. Nick Fury's dead. No, he isn't.
You don't really have to say spoiler alert. Winter Soldier's been out so long. It's like...
So, the whole Nick Fury's dead. I never thought he was dead. I know Bucky wasn't supposed to be really surprised, but everyone in my movie theater thought it was a surprise.
Yeah, same here in my movie theater when I went to see it. I was like, ah, it's Bucky. I was like, how stupid are you?
And then, like, Dylan said the whole Robert Redford thing, and then the whole...
Robert Redford did good acting.
He did.
But as a character,
he had nothing
to
do. And then I even called at the end. I remember Leno telling my girlfriend, I bet that's what's her name. Black Widow as the old chick. I was like, that's gonna be her.
I didn't call that. But...
And sure enough, it was. It was just, for me, it was just too much. That it felt like that movie's one of the movies when I really watched it, and I was like, every movie for me for Marvel besides Iron Man 1 feels exactly the same. Like Iron Man 1, you actually, like the final fight scene, I know we're going back a little bit, but felt like there was some danger, even though you knew he wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But in every other movie since then,
because Warmonger was threatening.
Even when the one thing I can't stand in Captain America: Winter Soldier is when she gets shot through the shoulder and it's like nothing for her. I can't stand that part. I cannot. That part annoys me. And then like the whole part of him, the Falcon jumping out of the building, just perfectly landing the helicopter. And
it's a superhero movie. There's a guy that's on super steroids. A guy in an iron suit. What I'm trying to show is that like in Captain America: Winter Soldier, everything goes right basically for the heroes, that no one gets hurt. And the Dark Knight, there's no quick fix to get out of it. I mean, you can argue in Dark Knight Rises there's quick fixes like the knee brace and stuff, but yeah, but Dark Knight, true, there was. And like Dark Knight, for people who complain about it not being a straight up adaptation comic book movie, I 100% understand that. But how I view it is, I think of it, hey, it's a really cool Elseworld story of a more realistic Batman. That helps me enjoy it more. Because if I think, hey, I'm going to see a comic book Batman movie, and this Batman's like really slow and can't even fight even close to how the comic book Batman could, I don't enjoy the movie as much. But since I just view it as an Elseworld story, I really like it. And Dark Knight was amazing. Like that opening heist part was awesome. Winter Soldier was really good in most aspects, except for like the story wasn't too great. I really liked how Hydra was S.H.I.E.L.D. That was one thing I did not call in the movie. I didn't see that coming.
Okay, you could tell that one guy was bad though. When
you could tell he's bad, but I didn't think like Hydra.
Yeah, I didn't think that either. Yeah. But you could definitely tell.
Robert Redford, you could tell like.
No, I'm talking about the bald dude, like the bald.
Oh yeah,
that was so easy.
That was very easy.
Like
he was so smug and everything.
I know, like they couldn't have made him look more normal.
But one thing that I thought was really cool in Winter Soldier was how you noticed Captain America takes everything a lot more seriously, like it's an actual mission. When he's going around taking down all those guys on that ship, he's taking them down. Black Widow's making jokes and stuff while she's taking them down, saying to Black Widow, not to Black Widow, to Captain America, hey, why don't you go and ask this chick out? And Captain America's actually focusing on the mission. I thought that was cool. And obviously that fight that happens right after the highway was awesome when he fights Winter Soldier. My only complaint with that fight was the fact that up until that point, Winter Soldier had been a ghost, and then he attacks Captain America in broad daylight, and everyone with a cell phone knows who he is now. To where up until that, it was like, who is Winter Soldier real or not? I heard legends of him when I was in the Black Widow program. And then he just attacks him in broad daylight. But the fight scene was still awesome and intense, and no one, not even Black Widow, was cracking jokes during that, and that's what made it so much more intense. And the, like, what's it called? The music was great, and the fact that, like, Winter Soldier could only be stopped by Captain America. I love that.
Okay, well, see, that plays into what I was saying, that maybe if she gets shot and she's, like, crawling instead of running, you know, full speed and still able to do stuff.
She wasn't running after that. She was hiding behind the car, and then Captain America saved her.
She ran to the car.
No, she ran, and she got shot right before she got to the car, and then, like, stopped behind the car, and then Captain America came and saved her, which I'm surprised people didn't get mad at the Russo brothers for that. Captain America saved Black Widow. She can't save herself. I'm surprised people didn't get mad about that like they did with Joss Whedon in Avengers.
I don't know. I like that. I like Dark Knight better, and I don't think there was a character.
Yeah, I like Dark Knight better too.
I don't think there's a character. I loved Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face. His character. He's one of the few things that during the course of a movie you actually believed how his character completely changed. Like I loved his portrayal as Two-Face. I thought that was awesome. How he went.
Yeah, he lost part of his face. His girlfriend died. A lot of bad stuff happened to him.
I mean, I don't sound like a terrible person, but I love the fact when Rachel died. I love that they were not afraid to kill off a character. I mean, even when I went to Dark Knight Rises, I was kind of hoping they were going to kill Batman. Not because I want to see Batman dead, because, like, even when you went in there and you watched that, for me, I didn't read any spoilers. I thought Batman actually could have died. And that's what I want when I go into a superhero movie. I don't want to know that everyone is, like, when I go into a Marvel movie, everyone's going to be okay. Like, I don't want to know that. I want to know that there's a chance someone might die.
So, bottom line, we both agree that Dark Knight is better than
yes.
Captain America 2. Well, that's our opinion. Next up is Iron Man 3 versus Dark Knight Rises. I think Dark Knight Rises is better, not by a whole lot, because Iron Man 3 was a comedy. It's basically all it was. At first, it started out, I was like, okay, maybe it's getting a little dark. And then it got really dark. And it completely copied Dark Knight Rises / Incredibles. Completely copied it. I laughed a lot during the movie, though. I'll give him that. And I loved how, like, Tony was not afraid to joke with that one little kid. Like, he got on that little kid. That was good. Dark Knight Rises, I was just so disappointed because of how awesome Dark Knight was. First half of the movie or so, awesome, until they introduced Talia, and then I was like, oh, because Bane was awesome. He broke Batman, because that whole scene from Nightfall, that fight was awesome. It was so intense, and then it turns out, oh, Bane is just the muscle. Talia's the smart one that planned everything, and then we got a lot of plot holes and stuff, and we got the stupid Robin thing. I really hated that, because Christopher Nolan's like, hey, you know what? Robin's not going to be in my Dark Knight trilogy, and then instead of introducing a great Robin, he decides, you know what? His real name's Robin. And that also screwed up, to me, Joseph Gordon-Levitt would have been the perfect Dick Grayson. That also screwed up his chances of ever being Dick Grayson. So that pissed me off. But I still feel like Dark Knight Rises was better than Iron Man 3.
I like Dark Knight Rises better than Iron Man 3 for the fact that, I mean, I kind of saw I didn't see the Talia. I kind of figured Talia was coming.
Same here. As soon as I saw that actress come on, I was like, okay, that's Talia.
So I wasn't upset. My favorite thing is my favorite fight in any superhero movie is the first fight between Batman and Bane, because Batman he gets annihilated. I don't know how to say it, but I loved watching him, and superhero just gets crushed. You don't feel,
especially because it happened so early on in the movie. I did not see him getting broken that early on in the movie.
Batman didn't do anything. Batman's using everything he's got too. He's using the darkness, and Bane just destroys him. And I love that fight. I mean, there's a lot of plot holes in it, like the how it should have ended does the whole because I'm Batman thing.
Yeah, I was like, how'd you get out of the pit? Like, because I'm Batman.
That's so I wasn't all upset that they turned Bane like that. I kind of figured it was going to be something like that when I knew they were going to involve Talia. I mean, I see it more as completing the trilogy of the movies, that it's all about, like, the League of Assassins against Batman. Dylan isn't the same way. But, so I liked the movie. I thought Catwoman, I don't really like Catwoman as a character, but I thought she was used good, and I thought Anne Hathaway played her pretty good in the movie. It wasn't too much focus on her. Like, that was one of my gripes with Captain America Winter Soldier, that we felt like there was so much focus on Black Widow.
Sure, like, Captain America, going back to Winter Soldier real quick, the story was very Captain America centric, but as far as screen times go, Black Widow, in my opinion, had too much in that movie. They should give her own movie, but in that movie, it's Captain America, and they gave her like just as much screen time as Captain America. I did not care for that.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of my gripes of the movie. But Catwoman felt like she was good, used how she was.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I also liked how I know Dylan didn't care. I mean, the Robin thing's kind of.
I just thought that was so
I wish they would have called him
stupid.
Richard. I really wish they would have gave him a name instead of Robin. Maybe like I don't know, something different besides that.
Especially because Nolan said he wasn't gonna have Robin in his trilogy.
Yeah, I liked Jim Gordon the last one though. I love Jim Gordon. I love Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon. He was a great cast. He did awesome the whole time, and I loved how he was going back and forth with what's his name.
Robin.
Yeah, Robin the whole time. I didn't really care for like the interim police chief when Gordon was out. I thought he was more of a cliche character that they brought in, because he was all like, "There's nothing going on." That football scene's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
When they do
Hines
that.
Ward's running down the field, and then it
But
just
so I really liked how to do, and it was a lot of cool stuff in it. And for me, Iron Man 3, like my brother said, was just a carbon copy of Dark Knight Rises, but just with humor added. Like the
and
first,
incredible. So
yeah, the first hour and the first half of the movie, you're like, oh, this is pretty serious, and then you find out he's just an actor, and everything downhill from there.
Oh yeah, they friggin' screwed up, man.
And I'm gonna dress up my hate in the Marvel movies. All right, so there are.
We're gonna get to the universe in a bit if it's something
Okay.
about the movie particular. Because
I hate the fact that. All right, so I understand. Okay, this does count to the movies. Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy, Batman doesn't want to be Batman. The whole time, it's like he sort of does it, but he really doesn't want to do it anymore. Ever since like the Dark Knight, you can tell Batman doesn't want to do it anymore. He wants to go on with
his whole
life.
goal was to find a Robin, and he did.
He wants to get on
to
with his
take
life.
his
But
place.
Batman's just a symbol. He doesn't. I mean, I know in the comics you can argue Batman likes being Batman. He does, but in the movies, he doesn't want to be Batman anymore. Iron Man loves being Iron Man. There's nothing
and
about Iron
Peppermint,
Man.
yeah.
There's nothing about him that he's like, I don't want to do it. And for him at the end of Iron Man 3 to just up and quit and be like, I'm done. I thought I remember telling Dylan we got the movie. I hated that because Iron Man loves being Iron Man. Batman in the trilogy didn't want to be Batman anymore, so I accept that. But Iron Man, look at him, the first one, I am Iron Man. He loves the attention on himself. So for him to just up and quit, I thought that was stupid.
Yeah, that was stupid, and it didn't stick either. Iron Man 3...
That's what I was about to talk about. You said get to the universe, so...
Yeah, Iron Man 3 was good. I'd give it like a 6.5 about. I enjoyed it. It was funny, but again, the plot wasn't really good. There was another fake character death because Pepper died, but no, she didn't.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then it was stupid how at the end Iron Man didn't even take him out. It was Pepper, which I wanted to see Iron Man fight the guy and take him out, but he didn't. It was stupid.
What's his name? Who was it? Guy Pearce did that?
Yeah.
I like Guy Pearce as him, but they kind of used him the
villain was stupid.
Yeah.
Same with Dark Knight Rises. Bane was awesome at first, and then they just destroyed him.
I still don't think there's a better fight scene than that Dark Knight Bane versus him. I love the fact there's no music and you just hear Bane just boom.
And people complain about his voice, but I thought it was awesome, especially in that scene when he's like, you know how many quotable parts there are in that just that fight scene alone. Yeah. I was born in the darkness. That was so awesome. But then they tore Bane down, and Batman does like 5 push-ups in jail and comes back. It's like, you know what? I'm better than you now, Bane. All I had to do was break my spine and then do a couple push-ups in jail, and now I'm back and I'll beat you. Because that first fight scene, you know how many times he does super wide punches that smack Bane straight in his mask? And then the final one, he does the same thing, and suddenly his mask breaks. It's like, what?
He got stronger.
That's so stupid because his spine broke, he got stronger.
No, because he had to relearn to be Batman.
But either way, I still did enjoy Dark Knight Rises better. I don't think either of them are great movies at all. They're both enjoyable, but I enjoyed Dark Knight Rises barely better, like barely. And also, it did cap off the trilogy nicely. Like the ending was good and everything.
Alfred, I still don't think we're getting a better Alfred. Jeremy Irons sounds really cool as Alfred, but I love
Michael
Alfred.
Caine was great.
I love.
That's another problem I had. Dark Knight Rises. They threw out Michael Caine. I was like, he's one of my favorite parts of Dark Knight, and then it's like, no, Michael Caine.
I mean, I agree with that, but at least I gave him like a sort of good reason for him doing it.
I like that. That ending scene was nice with Bruce, Catwoman, and Alfred. That was really good. I like that. So yeah, for this matchup is Dark Knight Rises 1. Because we both agree that Dark Knight Rises is better. And the last one is Man of Steel versus Captain America 1. I made this matchup because I was thinking about Iron Man 1 versus Man of Steel, but then Batman Begins is much more close to it, to where Man of Steel and Captain America 1 are both like their big hopeful characters. And so, yeah, I love Man of Steel. You guys know it's my favorite comic book superhero movie, so of course I'm going to choose Man of Steel. Which one is it for you?
I'd say Man of Steel because Captain America, it's a good movie, but it's kind of like, you just don't.
They montage through all the scenes you wanted to see.
There's just nothing to grasp onto, and the villain is just all right.
Which is surprising because what's his name? The guy who played Agent Smith.
Yeah, I don't think they wrote him very well. And
No,
then,
they didn't.
And then the training seems pretty cool, and I love Chris Evans as Captain America. I think
he's great.
I think he's the best casting they did. Well, yeah, and
RDJ is Iron Man.
I mean, when you think of Captain America, I think the best way to sum up Captain America 1 is it's a good movie, and there's no other really thing to say about it because
it's very basic.
It's like the most basic, bare bones superhero you can go.
Tommy Lee Jones was good. I liked seeing him.
He did, but I mean, it was that, and I mean,
I would say like there's not a whole lot wrong with it. Just what they do right, they don't do amazingly. They just do it good.
Yeah, they do.
That's why I said because there's not a whole lot I can complain about. Like the story's kind of basic. That villain's not that great. But besides that, there's nothing really to complain about. It's just the rest of the stuff they don't do wrong, but they don't do great either. It's good. To Man of Steel, I absolutely loved it. There's so many people that hate it. I did a whole 45-minute podcast on why I absolutely love Man of Steel. So I'll let you talk about why you like Man of Steel. I know you don't like it as much as I do. But
I like well, I mean, it's your character, but I like Man of Steel. I mean, I don't care for everyone talking about how Superman's a world destroys and he doesn't care about humans. It's a fictional movie. People get over it for one.
Well, first off, people, I know I had to jump in. A lot of people are like, that final fight scene, he punches Zod through so many buildings, destroys it. If you actually pay attention to the fight, he doesn't punch Zod through one building. The only property damage he causes there that was directly a result of him is when he takes Zod's head and grinds it into the side of a building. That's it. That did not take down the building. That only took out like some glass. Zod punches Superman through a lot of buildings.
Okay, I don't know about all that, but
I do.
I like Superman. I love his character. My problem with Superman is how they compromise his character to like I told you.
They didn't compromise with Man of Steel though.
No, they didn't. They didn't, which was great. But Man of Steel was good. It had a good story. I love Russell Crowe, and my gripes was we didn't have Jonathan Kent, and I didn't like how they killed Jonathan Kent. I wish they would have done it like the comics.
Yeah,
gave him a heart attack. I wish that would have been better. I thought the whole it was kind of cheesy, the whole, the world isn't ready, so don't save me part. I didn't like that.
They should have done a heart attack because the thing that's so awesome, it sounds bad about character death, but how it was so good about him having a heart attack is that something Superman can't save him from. To where, like, a tornado Superman can save him from. It's something physical he
Technically,
can't.
can't Superman save him from a heart attack because he can see it happening before it happens?
But he wasn't there.
Oh, well, shouldn't he be able to see it? It's his dad.
Anywho,
he can rewind time. Anywho.
He hasn't done that in
I like
a while.
Diane Lane, I think is her name, as his mom.
Oh, she did great. Like that one scene, like, just make the world smile.
Michael Shannon did it. Michael Shannon did a great job as Zod.
He, to me, is the best villain I've ever seen in any comic book movie, which no one agrees with me on.
I'm not going to agree with you on that one.
Including you.
But I like the movie a lot. I thought it was really good. I think the action scenes are great, how they did it. I still don't see how anyone can rightfully look at the movie. I know I'm off topic here, but I can't see Man of Steel as Man of Steel anymore because he's going against Batman. So how can you say Batman can compete with him? I don't know. But it was a really good movie. Not my favorite superhero movie, but it was still really awesome with the fight scenes and the story was pretty good. It was just really good. It was a really good Superman movie. We need a good Superman movie, and we finally got one.
Yeah, it just took, 5 or 6 movies.
Yeah.
Then we finally got it. It was really good. And it wasn't to where Captain America had a very straightforward, basic story.
And I love the fact that he kills Zod at the end. I know a lot of people do that. I love the fact that they make a character, they put him in a situation, he has to make a tough decision. I hate the Marvel movies where characters get out of tough situations. Put him in a tough situation, make him have a character choice.
Yeah, I did not see him killing Zod during that fight. That whole fight, I was thinking, how's he going to take down Zod?
I didn't think he could kill Zod. So
and then he killed him, and I was like, he killed him? Holy crap, I did not see that coming. So, in this, we're going to give it to Man of Steel. So, before we compare to the universes, we'll just do a quick countdown recap of what we just said. So, between Iron Man 2 and Green Lantern, it's pretty much a tie. You said you like Green Lantern a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, for me, it was a tie. Batman Begins versus Iron Man 1. I said Iron Man 1. You said Batman Begins. Captain America Winter Soldier versus Dark Knight. We both said Dark Knight. Iron Man 3 versus Dark Knight Rises, we both said Dark Knight Rises. And just what we just did now, Man of Steel versus Captain America. Man of Steel won, in our opinion. So now we'll compare the universes. Marvel has their structure great. They've got it down pat. Obviously, we can't really comment on DC, so Marvel wins that part by default because DC's only got Man of Steel. We don't know how they're going to set up the rest of their universe. Man of Steel was great, but we can't really compare that. Now, the tone, I personally prefer Man of Steel's tone, but now that the Russo brothers are taking over, maybe it'll get to Winter Soldier tone, but then again, Kevin Feige just said, we won't go dark.
I don't agree with that because I watched Captain America Winter Soldier and I didn't think it was very dark at all.
That whole scene
think it was dark.
after the highway fight, right after the highway where he fought, that whole scene, there was no joking, the music was amazing, and the fight scene was intense. There was not any joking. That was definitely not lighthearted.
I still don't think it was dark. My problem with Marvel
that tone
Universe,
was perfect
all
to me.
right, spoilers alert, because this is going to be something for after Age of Ultron. After Iron Man 3, he quits being Iron Man. After Avengers Age of Ultron, he quits being Iron Man. Why does he quit being Iron Man? What's the point? I can't stand that. And then we saw in Iron Man 3, his whole Legion is blown up, right? It's gone. Everything's gone. And then this one, guess what happens? He's got his Legion back. What happened to it?
No, that this time it wasn't armor, though. It was robots. Before he just had armor.
I don't care. He quit being Iron Man and he was Iron Man again.
Oh, that was pretty stupid.
I don't think I would. I mean, I love the DC tone so much more than Marvel, but I think one of the major reasons I do, and you do too, is the fact that we've got so much Marvel, which is so lighthearted that you kind of want a different take. Like if Marvel suddenly changed and made it more dark, you'd be like, okay, this is better.
There's my thing. Like I loved Iron Man 1 tone. I loved Incredible Hulk's tone, and then they switched. I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. Then Avengers. To me, Avengers should have been the last one that was lighthearted. I was like, okay, that's good. And now, okay, switch it back to Iron Man 1. I want to see that type of tone again. Winter Soldier sort of did it. The rest didn't do it at all. I still think the universe is awesome. Just there's no consequences. People die and they come straight back to life. A lot of the times in the same movie. And just, there's no consequences to our Man of Steel heroes, but in my opinion, Man of Steel also could have used some humor. That's why they needed Jimmy Olsen, but for some stupid reason, they didn't have Jimmy Olsen. So yeah, I'd say when it comes, like, if we're talking overall movies, which is hard to do, obviously Marvel has it in the bag. They have way more good movies than DC does. But when we're talking about the movies that we just did, DC won it.
Okay, but to be fair, I think Marvel's actually I just thought of this. Marvel's actually kind of in a bad spot right now because I think Marvel has kind of hit their ceiling because Avengers Age of Ultron didn't make as much as Avengers did.
Well, a lot of people are saying that's because of the Manny Pacquiao
I don't buy it.
I could because say you spent $100 on the fight. Like, hey, we'll see Avengers next weekend. Avengers made like $77
regardless
$1 million.
I think everyone's kind of seen that Avengers have hit their ceiling, and now they're trying to introduce Captain Marvel, and they're trying to introduce Ant-Man, but they're not going to be the draws that Batman versus Superman, and then you're going to have Wonder Woman.
Well,
and the Flash. DC has much more well-known superheroes, and so DC's ceiling is still a lot higher. Now, my idea is I don't think DC's going to do very good outside of Superman and Batman. I don't think the casting choices were very good. We already talked about that. But I think DC's ceiling is much higher right now, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Because I think it's a good thing because it will drive more people to see the movies. I think it's a bad thing when DC has a bad movie. People are going to be like, they're not doing good. So I think it's a double-edged sword for DC right there. So if you hit on all if DC does really good with their movies, they're going to be awesome. If they don't do good with their movies, they're going to have a crumbling universe that they just spent a lot of money on trying to make.
Here's Marvel's trump card right now, Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought Guardians 1 was a good movie, but people absolutely loved it, and like to me it was very overrated. I liked it,
extremely
but
overrated.
People thought it was like the most amazing thing, new Star Wars. It was so good.
What's unique about it?
It was just like another Marvel movie, but in space. That was what it was to me. I still liked it, but it was nothing amazing.
The perfect thing that symbolizes the Marvel universe is that end scene in Guardians of the Galaxy when he's dancing.
Yeah, like this
it's
guy.
Like, oh, he's about to destroy the planet. Let's dance. I love Chris Pratt as an actor and how he acts, but that was just ridiculous because there was no sense of like anyone was gonna die.
The villain in that movie was terrible too, but at least up until that point, they were trying to make him menacing, and then he stops him with a dance off, and it's just like, why would you do that? He's got an infinity gem, and it's just like dance off because that works, and it did. That's what he'll do to Thanos. When Thanos has got the Infinity Gauntlet, he'll just be like, "Dance off, bro," and start dancing. And Thanos will be like, "What is this?" And then Adam Warlock comes and takes the gauntlet and beats him.
Who?
A guy from the comics. Anyways, so yeah, overall, in my opinion, Marvel's got it better right now. In the future, we'll see, because DC can't really compete. But out of the movies we compared, DC won. So it's sort of neck and neck, but obviously Marvel's got it better right now. What do you think?
I can't say Marvel's better because I can't stand Marvel's universe right now. Personally, every movie I've seen since Captain America: Winter Soldier for me has been a disappointment.
Oh.
Wait, did Thor come out? Thor 2 come out before Captain America 2?
Yeah,
Maybe?
yeah, it came out before.
The Thor since Thor 2 has been disappointing for me. And to be honest, I think Thor's a lot better than I ever thought they would make him. So I actually enjoy the Thor movies more, probably because I don't ever think they're going to be any good. But my problem with the Thor movies is Loki's dead. No, he's not. Loki's dead. No, he's not. Loki's dead. No, I can't stand that.
I'm really interested to see what they do with Loki now that he's in the position of Odin. I hope they capitalize on that instead of just be like have him up there cracking jokes and stuff.
But I like the Thor movies. I like probably better because I never expect anything from Thor because I don't think he's a very good character. But he's been really good in the movies, and I love Chris Hemsworth as him. But everything since Thor 2 has been disappointing to me from them because I always get so excited to see it. I always see these previews like they're gonna be serious. It's gonna be a good movie, and for me, it just never happens.
So when it comes to the overall universe, DC's got him beat when it comes to villains. Marvel's got him beat when it comes to casting.
Yeah, it's definitely
DC. I would say it's too early to tell since they only have one movie with this one, but you could say DC hasn't beaten tone to where the thing is, Marvel's had 3 movies with really good tone, which are Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 1, and Winter Soldier.
I don't agree with you on that last one.
I know, but for some that's you. I think Winter Soldier had a darker tone. No, well, not to the level of Iron Man 1.
It had a darker tone, but like if you're going dark, it was like dark gray versus a middleish gray. It wasn't dark.
It was much darker than anything else besides Iron Man 1 and Incredible Hulk.
I don't think so.
It was. You gotta rewatch it.
No.
The story was just predictable and everything. And Winter Soldier himself was still, well, the second time you watched it, you were just making fun of it the whole time. While I was trying to enjoy it.
It's easy to make fun of.
Well, no, it's a good movie. And Winter Soldier himself was actually menacing in that movie. Winter Soldier. No one else was. Winter Soldier was. You have to admit that. He was a force of nature that could only be stopped by Captain America.
He was until the fact he shot Black Widow, and she just took one for the team and didn't get very hurt.
But you saw the look on her face. She was scared, really scared, which I'm surprised people weren't pissed about again because they're all pissed at Joss Whedon.
I'm still not gonna say he was that menacing because he was menacing when he killed somebody. He didn't kill anybody. Like you said, he's this assassin that's been killing people for how long? And in that movie, he can't kill one person.
Well, I think he blew up some cars and might have had people in them.
No, in Marvel, they all jumped out.
Well, true. But then Daredevil will show us 10,000 people died in the attack of Winter Soldier. Okay, now let's go on to TV shows. Daredevil is my favorite.
Which I think is very. I think the quality of their shows is much better on the TV side. Like I said, I haven't seen all Daredevil. I'll be able to catch up.
Yeah, so we won't get into spoilers because I can't spoil it for him.
All I know is I love Kingpin. Because Kingpin makes every other villain in the Marvel Universe look like a pansy.
Yeah,
he makes him. The problem is he's got no powers, and he would get his butt whooped by everybody else.
No, he wouldn't. Let's be honest.
Ultron would whoop his butt.
Ultron got the... Okay, no spoilers. We won't spoil
Ultron
Loki,
sucked. They would all beat him, but they wouldn't kill him. They would all beat
Kingpin would smash Ultron's head in with a car door.
He couldn't
give him a car door and he'd beat him.
He couldn't.
Guarantee
because Ultron's stronger.
No, Ultron did nothing.
The tone of that is... I love what's the guy? Charlie Cox, I think.
Yeah.
He's awesome as him.
His voice is so good.
It's not my favorite show. My favorite show is The Flash. But I like Daredevil, but also I haven't seen all Daredevil, but I love the tone. It's so much. The perfect term is refreshing. It's so much refreshing to see a darker tone taken on.
And there's still comedy in it too.
Yeah.
There's still parts that make me laugh. You don't have to go complete, which is something Man of Steel does need to understand. Man of Steel was not completely 100% dark though, because he did have the relationship between Clark and Lois and things like that. But it should have done more like Daredevil. To where Daredevil it made me laugh at some parts, but there were consequences. It was dark. It was good. It had like the perfect tone that Marvel really needs to bring into their MCU. But Kevin Feige, we won't ever go dark.
The money is not being dark. I love The Flash. I never thought Grant Gustin would be very good as The Flash, but they made him really good. Gorilla Grodd was on last week, and he was really good. But
We won't spoil anything.
I won't spoil anything. There was just one thing made me upset about it. But I love the Flash. I love Dr. Wells. Can I do spoilers about that or not?
Everyone knows
I love him as Reverse Flash.
Everyone knows
I'm gonna
he's
be
Reverse
very
Flash,
upset if they capture him or something in this season because he should not be captured.
I really hope he just goes straight back to the future.
I hope he just it says we'll see you again or something. It reminds me a lot of Arrow season 1 with Malcolm Merlin. Malcolm was better than him in every facet, everything. He was just better, and he even lets him beat him in the end fight scene so he can disappear. Which I had a problem with that. How does he get stabbed through the heart and live?
You didn't get stabbed through the heart.
It pretty sure looks like it, but
You didn't get stabbed through the heart. Now, my problem with Flash is too off and on for me. It has some amazing episodes, and then it'll have the crappiest episode.
Okay, I agree.
Like the stupid Hive episode.
Yeah, that was stupid. But that was also for Felicity. And you want to know what?
That was a terrible.
I hope they kill Felicity. You heard me. I want them to just take a sword and just slowly just put it through her chest. No, there'll be too much emotion in that scene for everyone to be like, oh, poor Felicity. Just kill her fast. Bullet to the head.
Don't
get
hit by a train.
Some way to kill her. Deathstroke should come kill her.
That's what I've been saying. But
speaking of which, Deathstroke just lets her turn around and stab him in the neck. How retarded was Deathstroke?
That was stupid. Now the problem with Daredevil.
One second.
Okay.
Daredevil is on Netflix with a 13 episode order. That Flash and them have to extend it to 23 episodes, and they're not allowed to use the same type of violence and the same type of tone, and they're not allowed to have that good of. They would be allowed to do better, have special effects if they got to take their time like Daredevil did.
Daredevil doesn't have any special effects though.
I know.
They're like all practical, and I enjoyed every single episode of Daredevil. I don't even know if you took all the episodes. I don't even know if it could compile up to 13 enjoyable episodes for me for Flash. I don't know if there'd be 13 episodes that were as good.
All I know is whenever Harrison Wells is in it, it's better. And whenever Reverse Flash is the villain or doing some bad stuff, there ain't no one else in the comic book universe. Heck, I like Reverse Flash better than most of the people in the Marvel universe for villains.
True.
I think he's better. You talking about he kill the Avengers?
Well, we'll see. They might take him out a stupid way.
They probably will.
Season finale.
But they did Deathstroke. And and you could say Malcolm Merlin, but
no,
they changed it. Yeah, they changed it saying he did it on purpose.
No, but that still wasn't stupid because you see the way he did it? Yeah. He really had to outsmart him there and stab through himself. He did not beat him physically in combat.
But I think they're going to have him go away. My problem with Flash is going to be next year how they're going to keep it as good because Harrison Wells was amazing.
Now, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I watched the first couple episodes and it sucked. I heard Season 2 is good. I don't care. I can't go back. Gotham sucks. I watched the first couple episodes, same as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I heard it's been getting better, but I haven't gone back because I watched the first couple episodes and it sucked. Peggy Carter was alright, but there's no one that I care about in that show. I want to see Green Arrow. I want to see Daredevil. I want to see Flash. And that it's just like, well, you got Peggy Carter.
My problem,
I just don't care about her as a character.
Yeah, I don't care about the Peggy Carter show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was terrible. I watched that for a while. I didn't care for it. What was the other thing you said?
What? We're talking about Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Gotham.
I can't stand Gotham, how they're introducing all the villains already. I can't stand that. Most of the villains are made because of Batman, not because Batman becomes one because of them. So I don't like Gotham for that reason.
Now, I heard Constantine was good. Like, all the episodes have been streaming on NBC. I want to watch them because I heard they're really good. And everyone's like, save Constantine. So I can't say anything about Constantine. I haven't watched it. But I want to go watch it now that all the episodes are streaming.
I used to love Arrow, and now...
Yeah, Arrow...
I can't really stand it. I'm having...
last couple episodes
really
have been
struggling
good. You hate Arrow from the beginning, though.
No.
Hold on.
I love Arrow Season 1. The first few episodes of Arrow...
You hated Season 2 and you hated Season
2 got off really rough. Even you admitted that.
Yeah, but you still...
And then when Deathstroke came in, it was really good until the fact that they took out Deathstroke in a really stupid way.
Yes, but every time we watch an episode, even an episode that's amazing, you complain throughout the entire episode about any little thing.
I've had a right to Season 3.
Yeah, Season 3 you have, but Season 2... It started off rough, but after that, like, when Slade got introduced, it got really good. And you complained about every little thing you could. You did. For some reason, you hate Arrow. I don't know why.
No, I have
Arrow Season 1 was great. I loved it.
I admit that.
I need to go back and rewatch it, but I still think I enjoyed Daredevil more.
If you go back and watch Season 1, you realize how much you hate Season 3.
True. Season 2 was really good. It started off rough, really good, and then they took out Deathstroke in a stupid way. Season 3, we won't spoil
Everyone
anything.
should know how much Dylan
It's
loves
just,
Deathstroke, so you understand how hard that was for him to see him, how they took him out.
like, I understood the fact that they changed his origin because even the guy that the show's named after, they changed his origin and everything of how he was. So I was like, okay, I understand that they're changing Deathstroke. This is a different type of Deathstroke than the Deathstroke I love from the comics. But his motivation being, Shadow, this girl that never loved me, and you killed her? Oh no!
But I gotta tell you guys something. The whole time we were watching that, I was like, he's got feelings for Shadow, and Dylan's like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And then what happened? Boom, he loved her. And Dylan got mad at me because I complained about that every episode, and I was right.
I didn't want to believe it. I was like, maybe he just sees her more of a daughter because she looked really young compared to him.
That was what I thought. Like, damn. And Shadow was good looking. Don't get me wrong, but. Okay, hold up. One thing I got a real problem with that show. Oliver talks about how hard of a life he had. All he did was sleep with pretty women.
Let's see. He slept with Sarah. He slept with Shadow. Did he sleep with anyone else on the island? Or no, he didn't. He didn't sleep with anyone else.
He hasn't. But it must have been really hard for him sleeping with Shadow.
Sure. So, when Season 3 has been very rocky. It has good moments, it has bad moments. Last couple episodes have been good. Felicity, I hate Season 3. Season 2 and Season 1, I liked Felicity. Season 3, she sucks.
I've been calling that all Season 3.
You hated her when they first introduced her.
I didn't care for her. I never.
You always hated her
because
you would always complain whenever she showed up. Laurel still sucks. Season 1, I liked Laurel. Season 2,
I actually liked Laurel in this last episode for the first time in a while. I liked Laurel, and I hated Felicity again.
Then, like, I liked Captain Lance. Now I don't. They've made me to where I don't care for Captain Lance. Season 3's just been rocky. So, I'd have to say, it's sort of like how the Marvel vs. DC movies are for me, because when it comes to movies, I'd say DC has the cream of the crop, because my top two are Man of Steel and Dark Knight, but Marvel has way more good movies. Same with TV shows. I'd say Marvel has the cream of the crop. They have Daredevil at number 1, and then DC has way more good shows.
I don't know. I think you're going to really like Flash, how they ended. I think, as long as they don't take out Reverse Flash in a stupid way, I think you're going to really like it.
But the thing is, when you compare, even again, it only had 13 episodes, but still, I would say I couldn't find 13 episodes that I enjoy of Flash as much as I enjoyed all 13 episodes of Daredevil.
I still think Reverse Flash is the most menacing of all the villains of the TV universe.
That's hard to say because it'd be between Reverse Flash or Kingpin. You still haven't watched all of Daredevil.
I know, but I still like Reverse Flash better. He's cooler too. Definitely, he's cooler.
I don't know. He's been pretty stupid at parts.
Like when?
Oh, you know, everyone's gone. They couldn't possibly be meeting up to try and take me down.
He knew that. Remember, the cameras everywhere.
True.
Spoiler alert.
Well, that's nothing too big. That's nothing too big. I don't think anyone would get too mad. But, yeah, I would say, it's hard to say which is a cooler villain, but I'd say, again, to me, Marvel has the best show, but DC has way more good shows.
The only problem I have with the Flash is sometimes they make the Flash an absolute
sometimes.
idiot.
He's always an idiot. Oh, you know what? I can't just punch this person. I have to go and throw billy clubs at them. I have to do all this stupid stuff. He could easily end every fight by just super speed punching someone, but instead, no, it's stupid. So, who do you give it to when it comes to TV? You give it to DC, right?
I give it to DC, yeah.
I would say, like, same thing with same thing with the movies. Like, with the movies, I'd say Marvel wins it, but DC has the better movies, in my opinion. To where with this, I feel like Marvel has the better TV show, but DC has more, so I have to give it to DC. So, DC wins in this category for me. And the next one is animated movies, which I think we can all say DC wins.
DC wins. End the story. I mean,
Marvel hasn't made.
Name me 5 animated movies Marvel has made. Exactly. You can't do it.
Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine. That counts as one movie because they're each like 30 minutes apiece. They made a Doctor Strange movie, which was pretty good. I think they made an Iron Man animated movie, which wasn't really any good. They made those crappy Avengers movies, which were like based on Ultimate ones.
My point is you can't name anything because
where
they don't put any money in their animated. But now I heard they're making the people that did Lego movie are making that Spider-Man
I'm really
movie.
excited for the animated Spider-Man movie.
I know you can't count in the universe, but that Lego Batman movie is going to be off the charts good.
Yeah.
That is like my second most anticipated superhero movie behind the one and only Deadpool. I know it should be Batman vs Superman. That's my number 3, because I just know Deadpool's going to be great. I know Lego Batman's going to be great, and I want Batman vs Superman to be great. I just don't want to see Wonder Woman coming all of a sudden, and then Flash comes in, and you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see all the characters.
Avengers: Age of Ultron had more characters, and that was still
most
good.
of them are already established.
No, like Hawkeye wasn't.
He was
Black
more
Widow wasn't too established. She was just there. Like
No,
that-
you even admitted she was more established because all the time she got in Winter Soldier.
No, she got a lot of screen time, but we didn't learn anything new about her character. She got a lot of screen time, but we didn't learn.
I just want to see a movie about Batman and Superman.
which we're going to get soon, and I hope it's good. But
Better
anyways,
be.
we're talking about animated movies. DC has had All-Star, Superman, Batman, Under the Red Hood, which is like the pinnacle of greatness when it comes to comic book animated movies. They've had
I had a problem with that movie.
Green Lantern First Flight.
Yeah, that was good.
The,
Not
the-
comic accurate, but it was good.
it was still good. It was really enjoyable. They had Assault on Arkham, which was really good. The newer movies haven't been very good. Like Justice League War was Flashpoint was really good. What was it? Batman versus Robin was Son of Batman was absolutely terrible.
Oh, I love that movie. Dylan loves
You
that
never
movie.
even saw it.
Dylan loves that movie. What happened to Deathstroke in it?
Same thing that happened to GL in the Green Lantern movie.
He won.
He fought a fart cloud.
At least he didn't get his eye taken out by a 12-year-old.
Shut up, 10-year-old. Okay.
How did a 10-year-old take out a
Our
military
Master
man's
Assassins, and they made him like the pupil of Ra's al Ghul, and he was all pissed at Ra's. It was so stupid. I don't know why. DC before did greatest hits when it came to their anime movies, and then they're like, you know what, we'll tie in our anime movies since our live action movies aren't, and we'll make it New 52. And then it's so stupid. What's it called? Batman vs. Robin wasn't bad, but it was such a waste when they could have just done a straight up adaptation of Court of Owls, and everyone would have enjoyed it way more.
You're still waiting on your Killing Joke movie, aren't you?
Yeah, because Mark Hamill said that's the only thing he'll come back for as Joker, so they
To be
have
honest,
to do it.
you could say because how good the Arkham games are, that they're basically a TV/mini movie because their cinematography is so good in their cutscenes and the
Yeah,
story
like-
is so well written.
And the voice acting is amazing.
Dylan didn't. Although I called it that Joker was going to be the main villain in Arkham Origins, and Dylan didn't want to believe it.
Well, I remember seeing a thing where the developers were like, Joker's not going to be the main
I
villain.
still think Joker's going to be in the next game in some fashion. He's going to be alive in the game in some.
He's
in
not
some.
going to be alive. Anyways, we're not talking about Arkham games. We already talked about
But you gotta say they're part of some type of movie universe because they're
we talked
so
about
well.
the video games at the beginning. And obviously DC won that. And this, again, I'd say DC wins by default because Marvel just... They have nothing.
They don't have anything.
They made that awesome 30-minute movie of Wolverine versus Hulk. Deadpool was awesome. Hulk was awesome. Wolverine was awesome. It was bloody. And then there's like...
The one with Deadpool gonna get his arm cut off.
Yeah, and then he puts it on backwards.
Yeah, I
and
love
Nolan North
Deadpool.
is the perfect Deadpool. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Deadpool game, which I never played because they took it off of PC. Stupid Activision. So yeah, DC wins this category. Now, when it comes, we won't compare animated TV shows because none of them have a TV show on right now besides like Teen Titans Go. So technically, DC wins by default on that. If we're comparing of all time, I guess you know what, we'll get into animated shows too. Spectacular Spider-Man is my favorite. With
I
that.
love Spectacular Spider-Man, and I love the original Spider-Man series.
Yeah, they were both really good. Batman the Animated Series is a close second, but
Oh, I like the Batman animated series. But you know what my favorite series is all-time comic series? I love
Don't say
Superman the
Superman the
animated
Animated
series.
Series. Of course.
Superman the animated
Show
series
is so
was
bad.
the best.
they destroyed Superman. Just destroyed who he was. and
I
what he
love
stood
that
for.
series. That series is
It
amazing.
was so bad. It was so bad. I like. Yeah, I feel like Marvel wins in TV shows purely because Spectacular Spider-Man was my favorite animated TV show.
You didn't like, what do you call it?
What I loved Batman the Animated Series, but I feel like that was second to me.
Wow.
It was really good, but I enjoyed Spectacular Spider-Man just
Take Spider-Man out of the
little bit.
equation.
The 90s X-Men show was alright. Just Wolverine would pop out his claws and threaten someone, then put him back in and just get beaten up or try and punch him.
Dylan's favorite characters
It
in
was
the
cool
X-Men
seeing him
series.
fight Sentinels, though.
Dylan's favorite character was in the X-Men movies.
Oh, wait. in
The
X-Men
TV
movies.
shows.
Jubilee.
Jubilee! Dylan can't
sucks.
wait for her to see her in the X-Men Apocalypse.
Gosh, I hope they make fun of her. I hope they've just been promoting her to get the fans that like her. And then the movie, they pull a 180 and just play like she's in it for 2 seconds and just get killed. Like, firework powers activate! And then Sentinel steps on her.
You mean Apocalypse?
That'd be, well, whatever. That'd be perfect. They just kill her off. That'd be perfect. So for TV, because they had what besides Spider-Man TV shows, what other TV shows have they got? Wolverine and the X-Men again. I just have the problem that he can't kill anything unless it's a robot. So Wolverine in a kids show is just bad. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, they had Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which was really good. You never watched that, huh? But Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes was really good. Ultimate Spider-Man sucks. DC had Young Justice, which was really good. They had the Teen Titans show, which was good. They had Batman the Animated Series, which was really good. Justice League, which was all right. When Superman wasn't in it, it was good. But when Superman was in it, it mainly sucked. They had a few good episodes. So I'd give animated TV shows to Marvel. What about you?
One of my favorite characters from any of the animated series is Aquaman from Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Oh,
outrageous!
Yeah, that was so good. I forgot all about that.
He is awesome. That was a good series. It was a funny
People
series.
complained about it, but it was good for what it was. It was just trying to be an adaptation of the Silver Age, and it was perfect.
I thought it was
And it had the best Batman vs Superman fight in media.
Earthquake.
Like, takes Candor. It's like such a jerk. So, who do you say wins on TV shows?
I see more DC, so I'd have to say DC.
I don't think you've said Marvel won anything so far. DC fanboy.
Fine, Marvel wins TV. Are you happy?
No, I want you to change your opinion.
All right, no, okay. Marvel wins video games because Disney Infinia and
Infinia,
Lego Marvel is
Infinity.
definitely better than the Arkham series. Is that much?
I never said to change your opinion. Just said, okay, and now, last but not least, is comic books. Which is, who do you think? Well, you only read Green Lantern, so you can't say anything.
All right, so let's go off characters. I think DC's characters are way better than Marvel's characters.
Says a guy who only reads Green Lantern.
I don't have the money to read all these other comics. So I'm going to say DC.
Yeah, I prefer DC purely because I prefer their characters. Like,
One thing Dylan told me that I really don't like is that apparently I guess Dylan said that the Marvel's trying to make everything match their...
oh, I hate that. They're trying to make everything match the MCU right now. And
So
it's
that is
stupid.
retarded.
Like, they just made, oh, Magneto's no longer Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch's parents. Currently, New 52 versus Marvel now, because, you know, those were like the two sort of reboots. It's hard to say. I'd say DC has, one thing that DC has better is the fact that when it comes to origins, Marvel's like, hey, you want to go read our origin? Go back into like the 60s and read the origin. Well, DC is like, hey, here's the current origin. We reboot their origin like every 10 years. Here's the current one. Maybe you don't like it, but at least you know how the character came to be. To where Marvel's just like, yeah, go and find it yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like Jeff Johns wrote Secret Origin for Superman and Green Lantern, and they did it. And then New 52, they had everyone get a 0 issue till they explain the origin. Storylines, you know, we're not comparing of all time. We can't do that. I'm mainly doing New 52 versus Marvel Now, and Marvel Now had, like, the Hawkeye series was amazing. I haven't read, like, one bad issue of the Marvel Now Hawkeye series. I'm trying to... Savage Wolverine sucked. Like, the first issue was good, Savage Wolverine, the rest of it sucked. Death of Wolverine was alright. I'm trying to think of what else Marvel Now I've read. Deadpool, some of it was alright. New 52, Superman sucked. Action Comics, when Greg Pak took over, was good. I didn't read Superman when Jeff Johns took over. I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now. Because I don't think a whole lot of people know what I'm talking about. So overall, I'd say DC probably has it in the bag for comics, in my... well, bless you. In my opinion... But we'll see. I'm going to do a video later on of Secret Wars versus Convergence when we get them all down and packed. We'll see. But that's another thing. DC does make it way easier for newer readers, though. Because, like, Convergence, all you needed to read was, like, Earth's 2 Worlds End, the final issue. To where, for Secret Wars, you have to read, like, the entire Avengers/New Avengers story arcs. Like, all of them. So, yeah, I'd say barely. DC probably has the comics. But... yeah, that's just me. Because I prefer, like, their characters mostly. But there are a lot of characters I like with like, Wolverine's in my top 3. Definitely.
Yeah. So is Deadpool. Deadpool's gotta be up there.
Deadpool's up there as well. Like, there's a good mix, but I overall prefer DC's characters, so that's why I read generally more DC, but I read a lot of Marvel as well. So, let's redo the countdown. For movies, who would you pick overall?
DC.
I say Marvel because Marvel's just got it better. They have way more good movies, but DC to me has the cream of the crop. TV shows. DC because DC's got way more good shows, but again to me I think Marvel has the cream of the crop with Daredevil. Animated TV shows.
DC.
Marvel because they had Spectacular Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man TV show, and what's it called? Earth's Mightiest Heroes, to where DC had, like, a good amount of good shows as well, but they didn't have my favorite. Spectacular Spider-Man was my favorite. And then we have video games where DC
DC.
obviously won. And we had anime movies where DC won. And comics where DC won. So I think overall, we're just a bunch of DC fanboys.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I'm a DC fanboy.
Especially you. At least I chose Marvel for a couple.
Although, no, I'm not gonna say it.
What?
The women in the MCU look prettier than the women in the DCU.
True.
So-
Well, DCCU.
DCC.
DC. Marvel.
All I gotta say is Thor's the luckiest guy in the universe.
He's freaking dating Jane Foster.
Yep. Who he never sees when he comes to Earth. I'd be with Jane Foster all the time. Who cares about the
He
Avengers?
was with her a lot in the last movie because he had to protect her.
Yeah, but not in the one when he comes to Earth ever.
True. Like Avengers, he never goes to see Jane Foster. So yeah, those are our thoughts on what we like better for DC versus Marvel when it comes to all this stuff. And again, that's currently, we're not talking about comics all over from like the very beginning. That would be a very big discussion. But yeah, those are just our thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below who do you guys currently like better when it comes to all this different stuff. And if you guys like this, please rate it on iTunes. Please. It really helps out the podcast. It helps people find it and everything. Also, you can find me on Twitter at @the_RCBG. And where can they find you?
I think it's Ian Mason 16.
Oh, you remembered this time.
Yes.
So
No one tweeted at me last time. I felt really hurt.
it's because hardly anyone makes it to the very end of the podcast. No one.
If you make it to the end of the podcast, comment that you think Deadpool would beat Superman.
No one thinks that. Deadpool.
That's how you'll know if they make it to the end of the podcast.
But the Deadpool has gotten beat up by way lesser characters.
Say you think Deadpool will beat Superman if you make it to the end of the podcast, so we know how many true fans
Punisher
Stone has
beat
out there.
Deadpool.
Huh?
Punisher beat Deadpool.
You heard what I said. And someone tweet at me, damn it.
This is lonely with like what, your 16 followers.
Hold up, I'll tell you guys how many followers I have real fast.
If it changes after this, it's all because of the podcast for that one person who made
Yeah,
it to
it's
the very
EMA
end.
16. I have 16 followers.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you're calling EMA 16. You gotta change it to 17 when you get 17
Someone's
followers.
gotta follow me.
Let's change it to EMA 17 if you get 17
I'll
followers.
do that.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Peace out.
Yeah.